Hello, leaders. Sydney and Blake here. We are jumping on to give you guys a series overview video. So if you remember from leader training, we told you guys that we are going to start creating videos at the start of every series. It kind of goes over each week in that series to give you some content, some ideas, and some direction from what we are planning on preaching. So the reason I have Blake with me is that Blake and I are going to be taking on the next 2 weeks of Wreck the Roof. Sorry we missed the first week.
Wreck the Roof.
But here we are for the next two. So Blake is going to be preaching this Sunday for week 2, and then he'll be doing middle school and high school, and I'll be doing middle school and high school for week 3. So we're just going to jump on, just try to keep it short, sweet, and simple, tell you what the scripture is, what direction we're going to take it, and the things that we're thinking through for our sermon. So Blake.
Yeah, so this upcoming Sunday is entitled Sacred Sandals, which are probably Jesus' sandals were probably a lot cooler than mine. Anyway, but it's Mark 1, verses 1 through 13, and it's about John the Baptist making a way for Jesus. And our goal, if there's one thing that I want students to be able to get out of this, is I want them to realize that maybe their own pride, because this is a journey that I think all of us are on, and I've had a history of this as well, that maybe my pride is a barrier between me wrecking the roof. So we were talking about those barriers last week. I think one of the most common ones, whether or not students want to admit it, is pride, because pride can manifest itself in a lot of different ways. So pride can keep you from God, because if I think I can do my life on my own, I don't want God. And pride can keep others away from me, because if others see pride in myself, then there's distance between me and people that I'm supposed to have a relationship with. And then pride can also put a wall between God and others, because if they see us Christians not boasting in our weakness and leaning into God, but being hypocritical, then they're not going to want what we have either. So we're talking about pride, and the antidote to that, of course, is humility, and how John the Baptist really models humility in a couple really cool ways that I want to talk about. But mostly I want these students just to understand that if they want to point people to Jesus, they have to know Jesus. And then they have to, as Paul says, boast in their weaknesses, which is to just say that I don't have it all together, I'm not perfect, I need Jesus, and I love you so much that I know that you need Jesus too. So that's the route we're walking down for John the Baptist, and some sacred sandals. I'm thinking about bringing in actual sandals, but dad sandals.
Oh, thanks, Blake. And like I said, I'm going to be doing week 3, which that week is entitled The Whole Town at the Door. So it is the second half of Mark chapter 1. And so we jump into the scene where Jesus is teaching in the synagogue. And as he's teaching, everyone's astonished at his authority. While he's teaching, a guy with a demon comes in, and the demon starts saying all these things. And Jesus casts out the demon. And then immediately after he's done teaching there, he goes into Peter's house, and he heals Peter's mother-in-law, and all these people are hearing about all the authority and the power that Jesus has, and they are literally everyone in the town is coming to Peter's house to try to get to Jesus, because they just want that one moment with him to get healed, or to have the demon gone from themselves or the people that they love. And so what we see is Jesus, who we just see has all authority and power over the physical and spiritual. He doesn't say, sorry guys, I don't have time for you all, right? Jesus, who literally is God, takes the time to slow down and be intentional, to give up his time, to give up his evening, to give up his power, to see the one, and over again throughout this whole night, take the time to meet with one person after another person, healing and casting out demons and doing all these things for the one. And so what we're going to hit on in week 3 is this idea of wrecking the roof requires this radical kind of love. And it requires us to slow down enough to see the people around us and their needs, and then to be able to surrender and submit. So surrender our need for the things that we want, or our time, or our energy, and submit to the way of Jesus. So kind of like a way of digging into hurriedness and busyness to seek out the presence of God in slowness instead, and then submitting to the authority of the Spirit and to Jesus to do whatever it takes to, once we're able to recognize the needs, do whatever it takes to bring those people to Jesus. So that's kind of a quick overview of what we're talking about these next 2 weeks. But I hope that was helpful for you guys, just to kind of set up scripture and where we're going. Please let us know if that's helpful. And we'll be digging into this more each Sunday before we preach as well. But hopefully this way you all can pray a little bit easier. So thanks for tuning in to this video. I hope it was helpful, and we'll see you Sunday. Woo!